going to stick to this Wukong. It has been his bread and butter this entire series.
Yeah, 3 Wukong games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but the Cassiopeia has been banned out. I believe it was also banned out in game 1, and LGD just took over the series, so it really depends on what Shanks is going to opt in terms of the matchup. They did deny the Lulu, so LGD looking for that Aphelios lock-in on this third, and W most likely gonna respond with the Vi. Jungle meta is so fun, guys. It's like only 3 junglers, or maybe 4, and you ban out the other 2, and there's only 2 left.
Yeah, the Vi comes on through. I will say, in my mind, this favors Heng based on what we've seen this series between these 2 junglers. I mean, game number 2, him literally just walking in solo killing Meteor. I'm hoping, for Meteor's sake, that doesn't happen again. But the Nautilus locked in here for Lwandy alongside Hope's Zeri here.
Ooh.
With that Lulu being taken away. This would be interesting. This would change things up.
Jinx has received a buff coming into patch 13.5, so this is really going to shake things up if LPC does decide to lock this in. The difference between an Aphelios and Jinx is that the Aphelios does have a lot more gank setup, but if a Jinx gets one singular kill and getting that reset with a Lulu, she is going to murder your entire team. And Jinx and Vi coming into this game 3.
Yeah, true, actually. We're going full arcane on this one. I wonder if any of these other characters will be in there. We need a Jace lock-in. We need a Victor lock-in. I don't think we're going to see a Victor. Actually, to be fair, both Victor and Jace are like playable in the meta. We could go full arcane. It's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. And then we get an Echo Jungle cap. That's never going to happen. When are we ever going to see Echo Jungle? I don't... It's an AP Jungle.
You know what?
AP Junglers are relatively broken.
This is not super relevant, but you know what I was disappointed with in Arcane? And no one ever talks about it. Everyone thought that Vander was going to become Warwick, and it just never happened. Like, he never became Warwick. He never came back from the dead. You know, like, that was the big thing that everyone thought was going to happen when the first trailer came out. I was like, that guy was Warwick. And I don't know, like... Oh, come on. If you're an LPL fan, you don't see Arcane yet. Like, get with the times. It's like 2 years old.
That is true, that is true. But you have to think about this much. If they reveal that Vander is Warwick and he isn't dead, then what is it going to be the plotline for Season 2? They still have to cook that up.
True. I just hope there's Yordles in Season 2. That's all I'm looking for. I don't know if you saw the Bandle City animation where there's like Tristana and Lulu and all these cuties.
Adorable.
Oh, it's adorable. They're much cuter in animated TV than they are in the actual game because I pretty much hate all of them except Tristana. Tristana's the best, but all of the Yordles suck.
Yeah, I would say the
Shout out
models
to
for
Rumble.
most of the Yordles do look a little bit outdated. The Veigar getting hovered for Shanks in this game 3. Veigar has been finding a lot of spotlight coming back into the meta as you just have so much CC with that cage available. If he goes the Lucidity boots, a lot of haste onto this Veigar, and Meteor looking like he's going to have another tough game as Biubiu looking like it's going to be his 3rd game of Sion in a row.
Yeah, we'll see if he does lock that one in the end. As I mean, it wouldn't be surprising, would it? You got a scaling mid laner, you got a scaling AD carry. Oh,
no Gwen, Cassandra.
We got some connection-based shenanigans occurring.
Oh, are we going full Robo?
Not quite Robo. I just couldn't hear you for a solid 10 seconds there, and then. But hey, we got the same top matchup. We've got a scaling mid and bot on the side of WE, and scaling bot a bit more proactivity in the mid from LGD.
Yep, we did see a very similar draft for that game 2 on the side of LGD, and they decided to opt into it once again, but this time having a hyper carry in that ADC position, a Jinx, as I believe that her W was buffed in terms of the slow. I believe if it lands, it is an 80% slow, so it's pretty much a CC or a soft CC. And then of course that ultimate, it went from 800 from max range to 1,000, and it's terrifying. And once again, double AP solo lane is for the side of LGD, so Shanks can just build MR as you are infinitely scaling with your passive, building up that AP. So we might just see a repeat of game 2, something very similar. And I'm already getting a little bit worried for LGD, as we saw how comfortable Heng is in this Vi versus Wukong matchup. Maybe this time, however, Haichao is able to get that lane party up against Veigar and help his jungler out at his buffs.
that'll be the question. Can they stop Heng in the early game? Because, like you say, it's meant to be Haichao and Meteor playing together, working together, finding these scraps of the early game and finding advantages. But it's mostly just been Heng and Meteor 1v1ing and Heng winning it out. So we'll see if it's going to work out for them. And whether as well, Shanks is able to like just abandon a wave to make something happen. Because quite often what you see, especially in the higher level LPL matchups between top teams, like priority matters to some extent, but mid laners are more than happy to sack a wave if it means saving their jungler.
Yeah, we have seen a resurgence of utility mid laners for the current meta where it is all about the ADCs, but I can already imagine how these team fights are going to play out for WE. You put a Veigar cage down in a choke, and then Biubiu just slams the Q down, and a 5-man lockup onto LGD, except for Gwen, maybe a 4-man because Gwen is immune, and that's how they get the ball rolling. Lacking a lot of engage once again for the side of LGD, so it's going to be really tricky to set up any of these skirmishes, as it's all up to Haichao and Meteor.
WE 900 total games in the LPL, the second most. You know how people always say the most winningest team, which that's not a real word, but yeah, people say it in League of Legends. It's the only time I've ever heard it said. It's not a real word, but WE are the second most gamingest team in the LPL. As they've reached 900 games now. Good stuff. I mean, WE, one of the teams from the very, very first split of LPL all those years ago, has Heng once again straight over that Dragon Pit. Exact same pathing as the previous game. He'll drop a ward on. Doesn't ward quite in the same way this time, though. And instead is moving down to the bottom lane. Did they see him? That ward's outside of the brush. He didn't get seen. Lwandy has flash available. They're going to move up towards this brush here. Oh no, they're in so much trouble. They're in so much trouble. LPC, you're absolutely doomed, my friend. Everyone flashing on board. 1 HP and the hook goes through. Hope with first blood. And now Meteor trying to answer, but the heal comes on through. Meteor flashes to finish the kill, but he sacrificed his own life here. Hung with 1, Hope with 1, and a fantastic start for WE.
Heng is playing mind tricks on us, Munch. He put down the ward. We thought it was going to be a repeat of game 2, but no, he queues over the bush or over the wall and gets his hands into the bush, and then he gets a sneaky flank onto LPC, and he wasn't expecting it. JinJiao was smelling him, but he didn't. Xiaoxu's roaming as a Gwen.
Shanks is in big trouble here. Xiaoxu moving into the mid lane, but Heng is here. Heng is here to save the day, and Shanks with a max range Q actually gets the kill. Heng can do no wrong this game.
They've lost their minds. LGD, the Gwen is rotating towards that mid, even Ghost being burned, but this Nautilus is getting so much value for the first 4 minutes when you only have a Lulu. So much setup by WE, and it's already getting that lead ahead as they're currently 3-1.
Yeah, fantastic stuff for WE. And, you know, we were talking about LGD being the ones that should be proactive, that should try and find things, but no, WE, and specifically Heng, finding opportunities, finding ways to make things happen. Lwandy ganking the mid lane and then Heng there to save the day. Shanks with a kill, Hope with a kill, Heng with a kill, and Lwandy with 3 assists.
Biubiu also giving emotional support as he is just in an isolated matchup where even the Gwen leaves the lane. Lwandy cancelling, or not cancelling, but getting the CC onto wait, Haichao getting CC onto Lwandy. I'm so sorry, but just missing out by the tiniest bit of damage as Lwandy was able to get the glacial onto this Gwen and a bit of a Q and gets the kill onto Xiaoxu. Jesus Christ.
Managing to get it in the end. Shanks finishing the job there as Biubiu, you know, not winning in CS, but he's chilling up here. This has been the matchup that he's more than happy to just soak up pressure in. It feels like Xiaoxu, 3 games on the Gwen this series now. It doesn't feel like it's really been hitting the mark. Like, sure, he's been having a fine laning phase, but not had that much side lane pressure, not had that much team fight impact. That's felt like a bit of a lackluster pick, honestly.
Yeah, they are always saving that counter pick for top lane, and it's been the Sion vs Gwen matchup for 3 games in a row where we only saw that advantage being really abused in the game 1, And even in game 2, he wasn't able to get his items online as it was a very fast game. Since WE was able to get the tempo on early, but the first dragon is looking like it is getting threatened by WE as Hope having so much priority. Also, Shanks on this Veigar.
Yeah, great stuff from Shanks so far. And especially with that kill, he's going to be able to actually put some threat down in the mid lane. Veigar's so good against the Ahri as well. You completely nullify her ultimate if you can get her inside that cage. And with mid and bot, you just know WE are taken for free. Haichao walks over a ward. Does LGD want to contest this one? I don't know if this is a fight that they can take, but they're going to go for it anyway. Meteor still level 5 as the hook comes in from Lwandy. The CC chain is magnificent. Meteor forced back out of the pit. DPS stops on the... And now taken once Meteor's out of range. It's textbook from WE.
It is textbook, and once one CC lands, it's just going to get followed up by 10 more things. Haichao having the flash available, he didn't react to Nautilus turning, and everyone on WE just went in for the kill. And a dragon, also a kill into the hands of Hope. The Zeri having a gold lead at the 7-minute mark.
Heng moving over towards Meteor here. Scuttle Crab the target. I don't think Meteor can 1v1 this, especially with Shanks moving over. Shanks is completely out of mana though. Not sure he can actually fight in the way that he's threatening, but we'll just go for the recall in the end. Had the push in the mid lane. And it means Heng gets the crab after all. So far, so good for WE. I mean, at 1,000, just over gold lead already, just a 7 minutes in. With a composition like this, and with 2 of those kills on the Zeri, you're feeling real good if you're a WE fan at home.
Most definitely, as they have just been drafting traditional front-to-back team composition. A hook from Lwandy lands as well.
Yeah. Lightning Clash is there too. The Q's going through both players. JinJiao falls. Couldn't quite finish LPC, but a 3rd kill for Hope on the Zeri. I mean, this is going from bad to worse for LGD.
I can't breathe, Munch. You just took the words out of my mouth. I can't breathe. This game is just getting out of control for LGD. And my biggest critique for the game 2, which is a very similar draft for this game 3, is that they have no setup or any diffusal of the amount of aggression that WE has alongside this Nautilus and the Vi, where they're just giving over free kills because you need to have a safe early game to get those items online. You need to have LPC pop off on this Jinx, but if she loses lane, I mean, the Jinx is as useless as paper.
Meteor starting the Herald off. And now Jinx, you're talking about moving up to make this play viable for his squad. But LPC still level 5 at this point. Hope is at that level 6 mark. Lwandy moving in. Shanks there. Not much mana, but enough to make this fight happen. It's Biubiu moving down from the top side. This is 4v5 for the time being as Hope finally arrives. Haichao, a big chunk there. Herald taken by WE. Now the fight. Can they get it as the needlework goes on through? But Xiaoxu falls. Cyclone not enough to take a kill on the top side of the players. LPC down as well. And WE, they get their cake and they eat it too. Everything going their way.
Cake? I mean, Biubiu is looking very thick on this Sion. Full health after an entire 5v5. It just seems that LGD is lacking so much damage, even for Xiaoxu. In a winning matchup now, 0-2 and 0. They are bleeding everywhere, Munch.
Yeah, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal from WE. As this started off with a numbers advantage for LGD. The hook flashed away from LPC.
The Veigar just separates the entirety of LGD, getting all their abilities onto Lwandy, but not even killing off the support. But look at Biubiu being an absolute fridge in the middle of this team fight. LPC can't move forward without the flash available because it was burnt earlier. You just can't escape the hands of W anymore.
Yeah, can't escape them. And once they get their claws into you, they do not let go. 3,000 gold lead at just 10 minutes with a scaling composition. It's not the way this game is meant to go, but my goodness, WE, they've shown up for game number 3. They're sick of this series. It looks things, they got dinner booked because they are in a rush.
All LGD needs to do is to diffuse the early aggression that WE has. They have equally as well scaling champions with the Gwen and Jinx in their hands. You just can't play into the fights that WE opt into because they have so much setup. But 7-1 now. Also a 3k gold lead, 4-1 Zeri with the Immortal Shilbo online as well. there's going to be a huge AD gap this game, and it's not because of skill, it's because of item diff.
Yeah, it's monumental diff at the moment. 4-1 and 2, like you say. I mean, it's brutal. He's going to be almost a full mythic ahead if he on his next recall. It's absolutely disgusting. Xiaoxu trying to take things into his own hands. Biubiu the targets the needlework comes through, but Biubiu, he's just too tanky. He's just too tanky. Got that catalyst already as Haichao now inside the baby cage. Shanks wants to find the damage, but Haichao, good footwork so far. Shanks now just moves up towards Meteor. Does not fall to the threat of the jungler.
I love the proactiveness from Lwandy, once again linking up with Heng and providing that pressure in mid lane. The CC is gonna get dropped, but not too much as he is hiding behind the tower, avoiding the Nautilus hook. But the Herald has been dropped as Shanks picks up another 2 plates.
Yeah. Shanks will be very happy with that one. A couple more autos for the next plate as well, as Shanks just stack it up as well. Remember, like, a CS lead on Veigar is like extra valuable. You get an AP every single CS that you queue. In the meantime, Heng grabbing a dragon for himself. Shanks should be able to finish that 3rd plate while that wave crashes on in, as well as LPC,
oh, no, LPC
just running away from the tower. Or at least he needs to be running away from the tower, but JinJiao's been caught in the meantime. There's the knockups coming on through. The damage is there from the Veigar, and Heng charges in to set up for Shanks' 3rd kill.
This is no longer your jungle, little JinJiao, as WE are taking over the entire bot side of the map. LPC standing between his tier 1 and his tier 2, definitely very understandable as he saw his support die right before his eyes as 2 ultimates burn onto him as well.
Xiaoxu getting some damage down onto Biubiu, but all Biubiu has to do is exist in this lane, and he's looking at a win. All he has to do is clear these waves, make sure that Xiaoxu can't threaten anything more. He's gone. Look at the level difference. Hope is 2 levels up on LPC. How often do you see that in the laning phase? A 2-level lead.
Yeah, you usually see it in solo lanes quite often, but not for ADC because you're often sharing XP with your support. But we need to talk about Lwandy on this Nautilus. 8 assists out of all 8 kills around the map. He is putting work on this Nautilus and really just getting all these kills into the carries. As JinJiao on a little Lulu, he isn't able to provide the same amount of engage and threat because you are looking to scale into the late game, but you just don't offer as much.
No, you certainly don't. It's kind of funny to see it this way around because Lwandy, you know, coming into the league, he was that Janna solo queue superstar one trick that had to develop his playstyle, had to add more to his champion pool. And now we see him like in the Enchanter meta. He's obviously doing well for himself, but showing that he can play these engaged supports as well, showing that he's grown massively as a player over the years. As Meteor could be in trouble here if Shanks can land a couple more spells, but looks like he'll walk away with his life for now.
Just barely, as Wukong's passive, it only provides armor, no MR whatsoever, and only having Sunder as he's going to get popped if one more combo came out of Shanks. Herald is going to be spawning 40
zoning
seconds.
2 people.
Huh?
Hope was zoning 2 people away from the wave of bottom lane. Lwandy's roaming. 2v1 Hope is zoning them and trying to freeze the wave. That is just absurd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends at 25 because just the presence of the Zeri is so insanely strong. 2 first picks for the side of WE as they were blue side for the entire best of 3 series, to be honest, but Hope on Zeri is something that you don't want to be giving over, but LGD has already shown us. Hope, he's eating over the wall.
The wave managed to get underneath the tower. Oh, LPC's in all kinds of trouble. LPC needs to stand between the tower and the player, but JinJiao has gone down to Shanks in the meantime. Hope has survived, so is LPC. I'm not really sure what's happening at the bottom side as an engage onto Meteor now. Shanks out of mana though, has to flash, dodges the charm. Lwandy with a hook straight onto Haichao. Knockup is there, but Shanks doesn't have any mana. He can't actually follow up on the damage, and Xiaoxu takes out Lwandy.
Every time we think the Jinx is gonna die, JinJiao just died on the other side of the map, and that is the worthy sacrifice that this Jinx has to make in the bottom lane, as Hope also got the tier 1 tower. But luckily for LGD, they were able to scrap up 1 kill into the hands of, I believe, Xiaoxu, as he has been roaming to mid lane a lot. I'm surprised that he is desperately looking for angles, as he isn't able to kill the Sion just quite yet without those items online. Gonna see how JinJiao got caught off once again, as he just got caged in here, And Iwandi flashing over and autoing just means this Lulu just gets popped. But Meteor is on the other side of the map, and I'm assuming they did get another. They did get a pick onto Iwandi, so it ended up being a 1-for-1 for the supports.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost a 6,000 gold lead in favor of WE in 16 minutes. I just can't believe how one-sided this game is compared to the rest of the series. I think that's the thing that's really surprising, is this has been a fight tooth and nail between LGD and WE. Both of them desperate to make it to playoffs, but it feels like maybe the home crowd advantage of being in WE's arena, maybe it's just the fatigue of playing that full best of 3. It feels like WE have LGD's number now as the sideways charge from the Herald. The first tower going down just in time. And it'll be 2 towers in the mid lane taken by WE. The Herald now just chilling, just sitting there in the mid lane.
Munch,
what is Shelly doing today?
No outer towers for LGD at 16 minutes and 2 towers gone from mid lane. Everyone, this game 1 went to 40 minutes and Haichao smurfed out his mind with that rise. But I think just this draft that they keep opting into is really handicapping their potential as a team and setting them so far behind where they can't find the angles with no setup.
No, it's tough. It's really tough for LGD. And now Drake coming up onto the map. This will be Sole Point. LGD feeling pressured as you see Xiaoxu moving over as well. They feel that they have to contest this one, but Haichao cannot stick around in the mid lane. He's got no towers. Biubiu getting engaged upon, but he's just so beefy. It's impossible to start the fight hitting Biubiu. WE move into the river and start this Drake off. They know that if LGD come into them, they're winning that fight 100% of the time.
But does LGD know? Because this is going to be Soul Point for W. Mountain Soul. Biubiu getting engaged on.
He's just trying to hold him at bay, and rightly so. Meteor is there, so no steal could come on through. Meteor trying to get on through the team, but he's just shredded. Hope has so much damage already. Iwandi goes down as Hope has actually left the fight. LGD maybe with a chance here as LBC shredding the health bars. Double kill came out for Xiaoxu, but the numbers advantage is too much. Hope rejoins the fray. Haichao and LPC 2v3 here as Biubiu flashes forward to threaten the Ahri. Hope just out damages LPC. And Haichao, he's on the wrong side of the map. He's on the wrong side of the play. And Biubiu with the slow cleanse comes out from Haichao because of the spell book.
He
might be able to get an execute. No, he can't execute, right?
The ult?
Weird end to the fight. Weird end to the fight, but WE take it.
WE take it. That was a bit of an awkward play-by-play moment because you didn't know what was going to happen. But it all starts off with Biubiu getting damage down from LPC, but you see how much damage LPC is doing on this Jinx, just barely tickling him. But Hope did give them a little bit of hope into this fight as the Zeri went over the wall and was extremely distracted by Haichao. So MVP moment as Xiaoxu was able to cut through the front line without the main ADC tossing out that DPS. But in the very end, LGD ended up on the wrong side of the map and they slowly got suffocated as all the main carries of WE were still alive.
Yep, LPC doing his damnedest, trying to get the autos out, but I mean, he's on 1.5 items. As Hope almost finishing his 3rd at this point. It's a really, really tough situation to be in for LGD. And now 14-4 on the scoreboard. 3 Drakes for WE and Baron spawning on the map in just 5 seconds time. It is now or never for LGD, and I feel like Xiaoxu is the man we got to look at here. The top laner for LGD.
Aww.
He's had this counter pick. They do get it. They get the ward at the end. He's had this counter pick all 3 games across this series. He's got 3 kills in his pocket. We need to see this Gwen pop off.
Yep, but we need to remind everyone that the Gwen only starts really doing a lot of damage by the 3rd item spike. So still 1 entire item away before Xiaoxu is able to put in the work. But just glancing over at LGD's composition that they decided to opt into for a 2nd game in a row, it kind of just feels like they are playing for better lane matchups, but they don't think about how the composition molds together as a 5-man unit. It's just a lot of awkward, squishy champions that don't have amazing setup, but it's you're supposed to find the angle, or you're supposed to find leads from mid jungle. JinJiao, not again.
JinJiao is doomed, taken out by Shanks this time. Shanks actually committing his ultimate to that. Not sure that's quite necessary, but you know what? A kill's a kill's a kill's a kill. 605 on the Veigar. 6-1 and 5 for Hope as well. I mean, this is just brutal.
This is brutal as the LGD bot lane is currently 0 and 8. It's okay. We forget about this Jinx game and we hope that we see the Jinx boss putting in the work, as the early game just was not in the favor of LGD, as Meteor on this Wukong struggling to find angles once again. I believe that Heng is building towards that GA, so he's just gonna be a little bit extra annoying on the Vi. Has a second lifeline, doesn't matter, but even Hope on the Zeri, he bought PD second, so he's going full damage. He doesn't care about BT no more.
No, he does not care about BT. I mean, he doesn't have time to care about BT. He's in all kinds of trouble. 15-4. And I'm gonna be honest, Kitty. I don't say it often on broadcasts. This is done. This is over. I just don't see the world where LGD can win this one unless they can stall for a long time. But ultimately, I feel like it's in WE's hands. WE have to throw this game away to for LGD to have a chance at this point. This is honestly, I just can't believe how brutal it's been considering the rest of the series. That's the thing that's blowing my mind. It's been such a close series between the two teams. But LGD falling apart in game number 3, especially the bottom lane.
Big ton of events for LGD, but it kind of just looks like my solo queue game if you turn off the nameplates. I'm the receiving end, however, the 4, and the enemy team is always the 15, as the dragon is going to be spawning in 1 minute. Mountain Soul for Biubiu and Heng, where your only damage that is reliable currently is the Jinx with Kraken, because everyone's building MR again. Your entire top side is dependent on the Ahri and Gwen, but it doesn't matter because they just build Merc Treads.
Yep, the Merc Treads coming out, 3 of them on the side of WE. Not to mention for Biubiu, he's got an Abyssal Basket of Gargoyle Stoneplate. Good luck killing him if you're an Ahri. That is outright impossible at this point. Drake coming up in 45 seconds. And WE, I like that they basically are saying, look, we're not flipping Baron with you. We're not giving you that potential miracle win condition back into the game. We're playing this slow. We've got complete control of everything. We're just going to take the dragon and get ourselves Soul.
I'm pretty sure if Biubiu ever gets his hands onto LPC, this level 15 Sion is just going to solo your ADC out of the fight, with Mountain Soul also approaching very soon in 10 seconds. They have no way of entering into the jungle with that Veigar and Nautilus setup, so they're just gonna try their best and scramble some vision, perhaps even flip this, because they need to do something on the map, at least trade something.
Heng chasing them out of the play here. Biubiu, the target for the time being for LGD, but Hope is here, sliding over the Xiaoxu on the front line. He's already half HP, locked up and taken down. He's gone. Xiaoxu eradicated. LPC next on the chopper block as he's knocked up. Meteor buying time and space. Hope low on HP, but the CC is just too much. Hope survives. Haichao desperately trying to get something on the backside of the play, but it ain't happening today. WE showing us that the WE still stands for World Elite. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. They're 6 or 7 in the standings, but they're looking good today, damn it.
Well, they're gonna get 7-7 in the standings after this, because this game is a very clean one to end the series off with, and I'm pretty sure LPC chucked out 3 billion autos onto Biubiu, and he was barely half HP. Propping the gargoyles as well. The Baron also in their hands, now working towards the dragon. Being LGD, you had to flip at least one of these, but WE, they're not giving any chances for you to come back into the game.
Nope. They decide that they're going to play around the Baron instead, and then also get the Drake afterwards, since LGD just chased down here.
Yep. We need to remind everyone that Shanks is extremely late to the fight, where this was a 4v5 to start everything off, but the CC landing onto LPC, and then the Sion zoning out the bottom lane of LGD. This meant they had no follow-up damage with Haichao on this Ahri, also missing some abilities here. Just 2 behind in the damage. 3 items for both the Veigar and the Zeri, and stopwatch in their hands. Mountain Soul as well, 10k gold lead. I'm gonna run out of breath if I continue.
Yeah, it's a bit too much, isn't it? It's a bit too much. WE not only winning, but making it look good, giving people faith in the fact that this is a team that is very likely making it to playoffs at this stage. WE managing to have a fantastic second half to their split. They're going to finish 7-7 now. This will be their 3rd win in a row after managing to beat IG just the other day. It's a fantastic little turnaround for the organization.
Heng also having 2 exceptional games on this Vi. Once he gets everything rolling, he does just seem like the difference maker in that early game. Being 2, 1, and 10 on this Vi, having so much KP as well. LGD's base is just suffering as they don't have enough wave clear to clear the Baron minions.
Tower's just getting absolutely shredded. The Zeri will do that. This Haichao trying to threaten on the backside. Hook slightly wide from Lwandy. It doesn't matter. This Biubiu just keeping everyone else on the fountain. Meteor goes in, Cyclone there onto Hope, and the lightning crash comes on through. Meteor's just gone. Shanks to grab that kill as Haichao trying to threaten on the backside, but he just can't even move in. He can't even get close. Nexus Bear as the hook comes on through, a laser across the team as well. And WE will comfortably clean this series up. Such a long, excruciating series for WE, but they come into game number 3, all guns blazing.
They managed to wrap up game 3 with a rocking 27 minutes, and just when WE is online, they look so good and definitely worthy for a playoffs position. But RNG is next, and they are really dependent on how RNG does in their series because they're currently tied for that 10th spot.
They certainly are. It's still possible for LGD, but it's going to be tough now for them. This is the point where now on 9 losses, you really do need other teams to lose more than you. That's your win condition remaining. But for WE,